The Chesapeake Bay may be known for its blue crabs, but along the bay's western shore, there's another aquatic creature that takes the spotlight. And it's big. Really big. Running roughly 24 miles along Maryland's bayfront, Calvert Cliffs contain an amazing collection of fossils from the Miocene epoch, which is somewhere between 20 to 5 million years ago. More than 600 species of fossil plants and animals have been found here. The cliffs help tell the story of the region's past and another world. To understand the cliffs' history, we must travel back in time, long before the birth of the Chesapeake Bay. Millions of years ago, this entire area was underwater. It was actually part of a warm, shallow sea. It's thought to have been used as a calving ground for many species of early dolphins and whales. And since there were so many marine mammals here, the largest of prehistoric sharks, the megalodon, spent a lot of time here too, mainly feeding. Today, visitors to the beach frequently find evidence of these ancient sea creatures. While the megalodon's oversized tooth is one of the prized treasures, there are plenty of other fossils, including the bones and teeth of a wide variety of marine animals, such as porpoises, whales, and even crocodiles. But there's a little more to fossil collecting along the cliffs than just strolling their beaches. You need to know how and where to look. The first step in finding one is knowing the fossils you're searching for. To help with those answers, I'm joined by local paleontologist Paul Murdoch. With over 30 years of fossil hunting experience along these cliffs, Paul is the one to go to if you want to make the most of your experience here. We begin with a lesson on the cliffs themselves. Staring up at these staggering bluffs is like looking at a giant layer cake. Paul points out the years and the lines of silt and sand, ranging in age and composition. Conservatively, we are looking at 1 to 2 million years of seafloor sediment, each containing its unique blend of treasures. Paul describes it as an ancient history book where no pages are missing. A local might tell you that fossils are everywhere to be found, and it would be true. However, that's not very helpful to the beginner. Fossils are mixed in with shell fragments and small pebbles, making them hard to spot. If you're not careful, you'll walk over many. I did. Rookie mistake. Paul tells me that the best fossils look sometimes deceptively like the rest of the landscape. Only trained eyes and careful beachcombing can spot anomalies in shapes or patterns. This is one activity where patience and perseverance are rewarded. It doesn't take long for Paul to pick out the first fossil of the day. An amateur would be forgiven for not having spotted it, but Paul's sharp eyes see it pretty quickly. It's a small shark tooth. While the cliffs may be known for shark's teeth, there are many other types of fossils. Paul spots a Miocene sand dollar, which looks remarkably like the ones you find today.
These typically come out of just one layer of sand here that's on top of this clay, but this sand then sets up almost as a concrete, so it's really hard to get these things out, but they're extremely fragile. It's super rare to find one of these intact, so this is a pretty cool find.
As we walk the shoreline for the next several hours, fossils regularly peek out of the layered landscape. With every find, no matter how small, a story of the cliffs begin to emerge and add to my understanding of the wider picture of how this area evolved over time. But not all fossils are small. Some are rather big, as I was about to learn.
So this is a Miocene-aged whale skull. Over here is the back of the skull. This is what's known as the squamosal region. This is where the lower jaw would attach to. There's some bone here. Some of the bone's already rotted out. There's more bone poking out over here. More bone here, more bone here. So this is the back of the whale skull. It's probably upside down. And then going forward to the snout, this is encased in a pretty hard conglomerate that's unusual for the Calvert Cliffs, but this time it's formed and encased around a whale skull.
There's something about fossil hunting that makes you feel like a kid again. Maybe it's the childlike excitement you feel over finding a really cool fossil. Or perhaps it's the sheer joy of remembering that prehistoric creatures are really awesome. Either way, I may not have left the day with a megalodon tooth, but I did leave with my very own 15 million year old fossils. And as Paul reminds me on my way out, I'm the first person in the world to ever see and hold these amazing fossils.